Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics! Yay! Yay! My horn worked today, too. Hasn't worked in the last couple of weeks. Anyways, everybody, welcome to KiddieNomics on our another fun-filled edition of Kids Financial Literacy Friday. I wonder how everybody's spring break has been for the people that are on the call that did have spring break this week. Hi, Tracy. It's been somewhat of a rainy week, and then we did have like a couple of sunny days. So I hope everybody had a wonderful spring break. So let's get into KiddieNomics, all right? So let me share my screen. Let's share screens. Okay, and I'm gonna do roll call, so don't worry. I'm gonna do roll call, but I'm not gonna do roll call right now. I'm gonna do roll call just before we start to give people more time to log in, all right? All right, so welcome to KiddieNomics. Welcome to all the new kiddies that have registered in the past week. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you say that you're new in the chat box, the kids will welcome you if it's your first time. And of course, welcome back to all of our returning kiddies that are here week after week with KiddieNomics. We love you for being here, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you for being here. So what is KiddieNomics, right? We review this every week, but what is KiddieNomics? So KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8 to 13 to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. That's what I want for you. That's what she wants for me. That's what we want for everybody, right? To have a wonderful, successful financial future. So this week on KiddieNomics, we have two phenomenally smart, phenomenally amazing and fun women. We have Miss Kimberly and Miss Cynthia, and they're going to be talking to us about trademarks. I'm wondering if anybody already knows what a trademark is. So this is going to be a very fun and interesting session, okay? Before we get started with Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberly, I'm just going to do some housekeeping items as usual. Okay, so please always remember that on KiddieNomics, we record every single KiddieNomics webinar. So this KiddieNomics is being recorded right now. And then I do post it on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, and it will be up by 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. So you'll be able to always watch it back in case you missed anything or had questions that you didn't maybe understand. You can always watch it back a little bit later, okay? Now, we love to maintain a very safe, fun, and happy KiddieNomics community. So always remember in the chat box, because we cannot see or hear any of the kids that have joined, you have to chat to us through the chat box. That's either up above, down below, to the side.
To the corner.
To the corner. I don't know. Mine is up above, so that's why I say that, but yours could be somewhere else, okay? So chat to us in the chat box. You're able to ask and answer all the questions in the chat box, but always remember to maintain our privacy, to never put any of your personal information. Remember the KiddieNomics webinar that we had with Miss Hadriana Leo, and we talked about online money smarts, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, remember that we don't, I don't want to see any, personal information, none of your phone numbers or personal addresses or email addresses or and I never want to see how old you are, any of that in the chat box, okay? It's to answer and ask your questions. And of course, if you do raise your hand, Elias, I saw you raise your hand. If you do raise your hand, please remember to always type your questions in the chat box, and then I'm able to read it and get that question answered for you, okay? All right, so before I introduce our phenomenal guests, let me do roll call. I want everybody to tell me, you guys know it, tell me which country you're joining us from today. Let me see what kids are saying here. Tracy says, I like KiddieNomics videos. Thank you. Nicholas says, Canada. It'd be you're from Kipler 22B. I gotta find out where Kipler 22B is in like in the sky. I have to find out with the astrology.
I still came from Haikyuu.
Haikyuu. Michaela, Michaela likes Mickey likes anime, so Haikyuu is what we're talking about. Let me see. Elias says Canada. Lai and Adara says Canada. Yay, Canada's repping. Jasmine, hey Jasmine. Jasmine says Canada. Madeline says Canada. Let me see, is anybody from outside of Canada today? Oh, Wakanda, Michelle. Wakanda forever. Wakanda, all right. Thanks for roll call, everybody. Oh, Area 51, who says Tracy? Area 51. All right. Okay, so let's get to our guests today. We have Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberley. So Miss Cynthia is a Canadian lawyer and trademark agent with a passion for helping businesses arm themselves with the tools necessary to protect their brands from copycats. We don't like copycats. Over the span of her near 20-year legal career, she has worked with numerous Fortune 500 companies to protect their names, logos, and taglines from theft and misuse. Woo, she sounds like she has a lot of superpowers, right? Like that, she sounds like she has a lot. Miss Kimberley is an Ontario and Jamaican lawyer. Yay, Jamaica. Who has almost 10 years of experience in worldwide brand portfolio management for companies like Apple and Ricket. Okay, Miss Kimberley, you're gonna have to, say this one. Ben Kaiser? Did I say it right?
Ricketts Ben Kaiser?
There we go, I was close. She loves all areas of trademark law and protection, but she's most proud to claim an exceptional track record of stopping the unauthorized use of trademarks. So she sounds like she has a lot of superpowers too. We're gonna learn all about their superpowers of trademarking with these two phenomenal ladies. So I'd like everybody to give a big KiddieNomics round of applause. Welcome, Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberley. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. There they are. Hi, ladies.
Hi, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're so happy for you guys to be here. This is our first time we've had two experts on KiddieNomics, so this is a first, and we love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're super glad to be here, and we're so excited to share. Now, we don't think of ourselves as superheroes, but we do work for a lot of great businesses, and we help them protect their most valuable properties, their trademarks. And so it's something that we work on every day. We work as a team, and we have a lot of fun together. So
For sure.
Let me quickly share my screen and we'll kind of get started. Anybody has any questions throughout, just pop them in the chat. Stacy can stop us and we'll answer them. But we've got some questions for you guys too. So if you have the opportunity to answer them, we're looking forward to seeing what you come up with.
They'll come up with a lot.
We're looking forward.
So we are here to talk about trademarks. And one of the great things about trademarks, it's really about protecting what makes a business different. And it's protecting them from being copied by other businesses who want to imitate. So just quickly again, my name is Cynthia Mason. I am actually located in Ottawa, Ontario in Canada, and Kimberley is located just outside of Toronto, and we work together. We're both lawyers and trademark agents, and we love helping businesses protect, like I said, their most valuable properties, their trademarks. So we're gonna quickly talk about today, what is a trademark? Now, I'm sure some of you already have some ideas of what trademarks are, but we're going to get right down into what are all the different types of trademarks. So the next time you're out shopping or when you're online and you can pinpoint what are the trademarks that you're seeing every day, what are the trademarks that you love, and what are the trademarks that are really, really popular. We're going to talk about why trademarks are so important to us as consumers, and also why they're so important to businesses. And then we're quickly going to talk about how businesses go about protecting their trademarks so that you can see this going on in the world every day. So what is a trademark? Really, if we had no trademarks in this world, when you go to a store, it would look an awful lot like on the left. It'd be really boring. There wouldn't be really too many ways that you could pick things out. There'd be no way for you to tell, what, the different choices that are available to you. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between one company's sneakers, for example, compared to another company. Trademarks really are what we use to distinguish products and all of the different competing products. And they're what gives us choice. And we love to have choices. And that's really what you're seeing on the right is somebody who has so many choices available to them. And those choices are made possible because of trademarks. So just a little history lesson here. Trademarks aren't new. The earliest trademarks date back to ancient Egypt, where there are certain craftspeople who would put symbols on their products, on their wares, on their crafts and their arts, like, their terracotta jugs or, their medallions. They would put little symbols on them so that people knew who made them. People knew where they came from, and they could continue to go back and buy products from the same trader because of the unique symbols that they were using. And so fast forward thousands of years today, and our trademarks sometimes can look like hieroglyphs, but they're also symbols that companies use to identify and to distinguish their products, and more so now, a lot of their services and their technologies from everybody else. So years and years and years, they still exist, they're still important, and we still love them. So what is a trademark? I think there's a few things here that you guys will recognize. The biggest and most common type of trademark out there, they're names. They're just how we refer to the stores that we love, the sneakers that we love, the online services that we love. I think, there's a few here that you may recognize, even KiddieNomics, that's a trademark, it's up there. Other trademarks like Disney, you got Netflix. These are all names that we use to identify. For example, Netflix, it's, where we consume and where we see a lot of the different shows that we watch and a lot of the different movies. But Netflix has competitors, Disney Plus. But the way that you know the difference is by the name. Is it Netflix or is it Disney? These are the biggest form of trademarks, and it tends to be from the consumer perspective. That's how we identify what it is we want to buy. So, say for example, you're standing in the corner store and you want to buy your favorite chocolate bar. Now, what is your favorite chocolate bar? Mine is Kit Kat. I don't know if you guys, what are you guys like? What types of chocolate bars do you love?
Nikki, what's your favorite chocolate bar?
I don't know.
You don't know what your favorite chocolate bar is? What's your favorite chocolate?
What is my favorite chocolate?
Lindor. She likes the Lindor chocolate.
Oh, that's fancy. Yeah.
She has fancy taste.
But here's the great thing. How you find that amongst all of the different options is by the name.
Yeah, so Ibby says that Kit Kat is his favorite, and Ronell says Hershey's. Oh, I love Hershey's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hershey's
yeah.
Supreme, that's my favorite.
I was about to say that.
No, well, I already picked it.
See, but
You're
you're standing in the corner store and you want to buy your favorite chocolate bar. How are you going to pick it out? You're picking it out with a name.
That's right.
But
Rocher, ooh, Nicholas, ooh, I love that. That's one of my favorite chocolates. Brielle
That's
says
my
Mars.
fave.
Oh,
yeah.
says Mars. Oh, is that your fave, Miss Kimberly?
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher, yeah, I love that chocolate.
Wow,
That
there's
one is
actually
amazing.
like a little interesting story about Ferrero Rochers that'll come up a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
So we use names primarily to pinpoint what it is that we want to buy. You want to buy Nikes. There's a name. You want to go to McDonald's for a hamburger. So instead of McDonald's, you could go to Wendy's. These are all the main ways that we identify our choices, and we make our choices when we're buying, when we're consuming. But we don't just rely on names. Sometimes you're driving along the highway and you see the golden arches and you know what's there.
McDonald's.
So
McDonald's.
yes, and the way that you identify that restaurant without even seeing the name McDonald's is you're seeing the golden arches. And it's like an iconic symbol of, you know exactly what you're going to get when you get into that restaurant. And when you pick up, a phone and you look at the back of it and you see the little apple, you know what kind of phone it is. There's so many different logos that don't have to ever be connected with a name. And you know that when you buy it, you're getting something very specific. And that's because we've been trained as consumers to really associate these symbols as one particular source of, a beverage or of sporting goods, sneakers, hamburgers, chocolate bars. These are the kind of things that we're using as consumers to make choices. Yes. Question.
Yes. Elias would like to know, wouldn't Apple be the trademark and not iPad? You picked up on that.
Well, they're actually both trademarks. Apple, the Apple logo, and Apple is the trademark for the company, but the company makes all of these different products. So that's actually a really great question because, products can have more than one trademark on them. Apple is one trademark, but iPad is also a trademark because it's a unique name for a tablet. So you compare the iPad to the Samsung. I don't know what Samsung's calling theirs these days. Anybody know?
Just this Samsung Tab.
I think it's just a tablet.
Yeah. So tablet is the generic
they have
word.
Galaxy, they have versions of it. Like
like the Tab E or I don't know.
Tab A, B, something like that.
Yeah. So those are actually Tab A, Tab E. Those are trademarks for a tablet. A tablet's the generic word. iPad is Apple's trademark for their special tablet. And so these are the different trademarks that you're using to choose between tablets. Yeah, more questions. I love it.
Nicholas would like to know, so would AirPods be a trademark?
Yes, it would.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yes, it would. Bear paws are very popular trademarks in my house.
Us too.
Yeah. So trademarks, so far we've got names and we've got logos. There's others. Taglines or fun slogans. Now, I picked out a few here. I don't know, some of them maybe from your parents' generation, like where's the beef? I don't think that's one that a lot of you kids will know. But taglines are.
Let's guess which companies, where's the beef? Where do you think that tagline came from? Do you know? Cows. Oh, Elias got it. Elias got it. He says Arby's.
No, it's Wendy's. Wendy's.
Oh, Arby's always says, where's the beef?
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, you got me. It's not a great trademark. But these are, little sayings that people, when you hear it or when you read it, you don't necessarily need to see a name to know what it's connected with. Like, just do it. We all know where this one comes from, right? Yes.
Yeah.
But you didn't need to know the name Nike. You didn't need to see the little swoosh, but you know that tagline and that slogan, that relates to products that come from Nike. Taglines are also a really great marketing tool because it kind of tells consumers what you can expect. Like KFC, is finger looking good? It absolutely is. And you know that when you're
Yum.
consistently, every time you get it, it's going to be finger looking good. And the same with Lay's potato chips. You're just not eating one.
That's very
So we've got names, we've got logos, we've got taglines, but there's a whole other category of trademarks that are super, super tricky, but they pull you in every time. Can anybody guess what they are?
Games.
Or one of them?
Games.
Mickey says games. Let's ask the kids. What do you think is another version of trademarks? Or
Another type of trademarks.
Another type of trademark.
So we did names, we did pictures, we did taglines. What's another type?
Was something else that you use to pick out products.
What else do you pick out products? What do you use to pick out products? The kids are well. We did logo. We did logo already.
Mhm.
Jingles.
Yes.
Jingles says Leah and Adera and Lai. They said
Mhm.
jingles, which
Mhm.
is awesome. Color coded
Yay!
products. Says Daniela, that's a good one.
Ooh,
Yes.
Colors?
Says
Yes.
Micah. Hi, Micah. Ranel says jingles. Are we getting close?
Yes, jingles is definitely a type. Here's a few more that you may be surprised about. Shapes of products, like these fun little crackers that we all know and love. That is a trademark.
Oh, really?
Everybody know what kind of cracker this is? It's a trademark.
Wow. So goldfish, they're shapes of their crackers. That's a trademark.
That is a trademark. Lego tried to claim trademark rights about the shape of their blocks, but the courts said, nuh-uh, because that shape is functional. You need it to connect your blocks together. You can't own that. That's not distinctive of you. The shape of bottles, the shape of the Coca-Cola bottle, it's different from a Pepsi bottle. And there's a reason behind that, because Coca-Cola wants you to associate their shape of bottle with them, not with anybody else. The lion on this side here, that might be a little bit, well, television is a little bit different now than when I was a kid, but before every show, or not every show, but before the shows produced by Metro Goldwyn Mayer, there used to be this lion on the screen, and there'd be the picture, you see the picture here, but the lion roared every time. That roar is a trademark. And people knew every time they heard it that they were going to watch a show that was produced by this particular company. One of my favorites is right down in the left-hand corner, the shoes with the beautiful red sole. They're the only company in the world that is entitled to sell shoes with a red sole, because that red sole is a trademark.
Yes.
And so they're allowed to stop other companies from selling shoes with red soles because that's their trademark and you're not allowed to copy them. And then the packaging. Yeah, oh, great question. Then more questions.
Tracy would like to know, is juice a trademark?
Juice? What kind of juice?
What kind of juice, Tracy? Can you put in the chat box? I think, are you talking about, oh, he's talking
Orange and
orange or
green.
grape? Is like the type of juice a trademark? So if you get
No, so the juice is the item. The trademark would be the name that the company uses to put on the juice so that you can identify the juice. Or in the case of the Coca-Cola that you're seeing on the screen, it's the shape of the bottle that's unique. So when you see that shape, Coca-Cola wants you to recognize that juice as theirs.
Okay, perfect.
It's the same with the Ferrero Rocher chocolate. The chocolate inside is what you're buying. The way you identify it is with this really unique gold packaging in a little kind of like cupcake cup. That is a trademark for this particular type of chocolate. So many different things can be trademarks. It's really anything that a business uses to distinguish its particular products from the guy who sells the exact same thing, but they're differentiating them with different names, different logos, sometimes really special and unique and beautiful packaging, sometimes really special, unique features of the product itself. And so long as it's not functional, like the Lego bricks, then the company can own it as their trademark and they can stop everybody else from copying them. So, trademarks, when you have a trademark, you're a business and you have a trademark, you can own it, and the government will grant you ownership of it. So you just apply to the government and they give you ownership of your trademark, because the government has an interest in making sure that the consumers aren't confused. They want businesses to play fairly and to kind of set their own products apart with their own trademarks. They don't like to have companies who compete by copying. And it's not in our interest as a public. We don't want to be confused about the source of, our sneakers and our, online services. The government wants us to have clear choice. And so they grant businesses ownership of their trademarks. The government also grants businesses and individuals ownership of other ideas, other creations that come out of your mind. So if you invented something, I don't know, a little device that kind of helped you find your way home from school every day, and it was something that didn't exist in the world before, it was new, it's totally useful because it helps you from being lost, you can apply to the government for a patent. And a patent is it's a period of about 20 years where you get to be the sole owner of this invention. It gives you an opportunity to kind of recoup your investment in coming up with the invention. And then after the 20-year period, other companies are allowed to kind of copy your idea, but you get a time-limited monopoly or ownership of your invention just for inventing it and applying to the government to ask for this period of exclusivity. If you write something, you write a small short story, or you create a picture out of your mind, you're creating artwork, or if you've taken a picture with your phone or with a camera, you are actually the owner of the copyright in that picture, in that story, or in the artwork that you've created. The government gives you the exclusive right to copy it. So you're allowed to stop other people from copying your work. And we call that copyright. So that's kind of the body of law that protects all of the beautiful creations and the words that you can come up with in your head. The government says you can own that and you can stop everybody else from copying you because you are the owner of the copyright. So, another question, great.
So that leads us to a couple of questions. So Jenna would like to know, can you sue someone for copying your trademark? And Micah would like to know, do trademarks have a shelf life? I think you kind of touched on that, but let's get to Jenna's question first. Can you sue someone for copying your trademark?
You absolutely can. If another business copies your trademark and is kind of trying to trick the public into thinking that their product is coming from the same place as yours, you can sue them for trademark infringement. We do that all the time.
Yep. Go to court and you sue for trademark infringement.
Yes. So the court will give you an order that requires them to stop. Oftentimes you'll ask the court to make them give you all of their infringing products. So if they've created, labels on their t-shirts, for example, and that t-shirt is infringing your trademark, they got to give you all those t-shirts. And you can also make them pay you money for the damages that they've caused to your business. So you can sue people. Yeah.
And literally you can get them to take products off the shelf. So if the products are in the supermarket and you sue them for trademark infringement, you can get an order from the court and they have to pull down all of those products off the shelf. They have the option to change the labeling, but they have to take them down. Yeah. And in terms of shelf life, when you register your trademark, you get protection for 10 years. And then you can renew it for another 10 years and you can renew again and again and again. So you can own your trademark forever and ever and ever and ever.
Oh, nice to know.
Yeah. So it's a little different. Like I said, from a patent, you only get 20 years of ownership. Trademarks you can have indefinitely as long as you continue to renew it. Copyright exists for your life plus another 50 years after you die. Yeah, so it's bleak, but it's a long term of ownership.
That's pretty long. Nicholas would like to know, what if you allow someone to use your trademark but they use a design that lowers the reputation of your company. Can you do anything in that situation?
Wow, Nicholas, that is really good.
Our KiddieNomics kiddies are super smart and always ask the most insightful questions. Always.
Yeah, you absolutely can. There is a trick to that. You actually have to register that trademark. So you have to have applied to the government for your certificate to say you're the owner. And then that gives you this other kind of legal claim against this, whoever is doing this to you. You can claim that they're depreciating the value of the goodwill of your trademark. So they're basically taking your reputation and making it worth less.
Ah, perfect. Daniela would like to know, how much does it cost to renew a trademark?
That is a good question. So the government fees for owning a trademark start at about $340. But it's a graded thing. So it depends on how many products and services you're using or you're planning to use in connection with your trademark. So if you want to just register a trademark for clothing.
Chocolate or
yeah,
chocolate?
Chocolate would be one. So you would pay $336 for your trademark for chocolate. But then you're like, oh, maybe I want to add clothing to that. So you're going to pay another $102. And then you think, oh, no, wait, I'm going to make purses too. And so you can add another $102 on top of the cost that way. So it really depends on what types of products and services you're using or you're claiming to use with your trademark. And it's the same deal when you go to renew. You have to pay a government fee. And it depends on the types of the products and services that you're using in connection with your trademark is really going to determine how much it costs to renew.
Ah, okay. These are some awesome questions. Okay, I'm going to ask this last one, and then we're going to let Miss Cynthia continue on in her presentation. Tracy would like to know, what if a lot of people are copying you? How do you pick who do you go after to sue? Can you sue everybody, or do you find one person and then go after the other?
You can sue everybody. And if a lot of different people are doing it, you really want to make sure that you do sue everybody, because what happens if you don't, if you let some people copy you and you don't let other people copy you, the public is just going to be confused. They're not going to be able to know which one is the real you. And so this is why you want to make sure there is no one copying you, and you want to take the actions to make sure that you are the only user of that trademark, because the more people you let get away with it, the less your trademark is able to kind of identify and distinguish your products and services from everybody else.
Yes. If you allow a bunch of people to use your trademark, it's not going to be unique anymore. So you're not going to stand out. It's going to become common and everybody's going to start using it. So for example, Pampers. Pampers was a trademark, and then everybody else started using Pampers to describe diapers. And so it's just very, very common now. And you don't want that to happen to your trademark. So you want to sue anybody who is copying and using your trademark.
You know, there's a lot of generic words that started out as trademarks. Trampoline, Kleenex, thermos, these all used to be trademarks, but the owners didn't police the use of them. And so they just became generic over time, and now everybody uses them. Everybody
uses them. So they've lost their value. They've lost their value.
Okay. All right, the kids have a lot. Okay, I'm going to ask these last two questions, guys, and then we're going to let Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberly continue on. Jenna would like to know, are quotes part of a trademark?
They can be.
They can be. Yeah. Okay, and then Nicholas would like to know, can you trademark a name, like a first and last name? So your name, can you trademark your name?
You can, but it's difficult, because what if there's somebody else with the same name who wants to use it as a trademark too? You can't stop them from using their name. Now, you can do it. If you're a celebrity, you can do it. And we actually register trademarks on behalf of celebrities. And in order to register your name as a trademark, you have to prove that it's distinctive. So you have to give the government all this evidence of how much you've sold and how well known you are before they're going to give you the ownership of your name as a trademark.
Right. So does anybody know Usain Bolt? Does anybody know him?
No.
Okay. Well, his name is a trademark.
Oh, it is? That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, he's the fastest man in the world.
Oh, whoa.
Yes,
Oh.
Bolt.
Oh.
Justin Bieber is a trademark. All of the big celebrities, they've turned their names into trademarks.
Nice. Jenna wanted to say Blue Ivy a trademark.
Yes, I believe it is. I believe it is. Okay, so let's move on. We got some more stuff for you here. So we love trademarks because they give us choice. They help us choose between all of the products and the services that we love. We don't like being confused. We don't like being misled. We want businesses to have strong trademarks, and we want them to protect their trademarks so that we can continue to buy from the companies that we love. Businesses love their trademarks for the exact same reason, because it buys them customer loyalty. It helps them differentiate what would otherwise be a product or a service. They can brand it with something really fun, a really fun trademark that people remember. And all of a sudden, their product has that much more value. And so trademarks really are an asset that businesses have, and they are extremely, extremely valuable. And that's why businesses love them. That's why they take the steps to protect them. So speaking of valuable trademarks, can you guys guess what is the world's most valuable trademark?
Okay.
Out of the ones that are listed here, which one do you think is the most valuable one in the world? It's worth the most money out of everybody else.
What's the most valuable trademark? Jenna says Apple. Ronelle says Apple. Nicole says Amazon. Daniela, she's tied. She says Apple or Google. Micah says Apple. Tish says Google. Ronelle says Google. Microsoft says Nicholas. Mickey says
Tesla, Google, and Amazon.
Well, you got to pick out of these ones.
Oh.
Well, Mickey says Tesla, Google, and Amazon. And Daniela says maybe Facebook.
Well, so let's see. Amazon wins by a long shot. And as we enter in another lockdown, while we're squarely in a lockdown and we are dependent upon Amazon to get all of the things that we need, we can see why they're the world's most valuable brand. In a somewhat close second is Google, and then we've got Apple, then Samsung, and Facebook. Well, not worth so much, although it's still worth a whopping $79 billion. That's the 2020 number. So who knows what 2021 is going to bring. But I think the interesting thing that we should see about these, the 5 most valuable brands in the world today are all technology brands. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? Nicholas wanted to know, do all these trademarks allow people to buy stocks of the company? And I said, yes, they do. They are all traded on a stock exchange, whether or not it's the New York Stock Exchange, but you can find them all there.
Yeah. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly. She's going to tell you all the tricks of how we help our clients protect their valuable trademarks.
Okay, let's go. All right, so how do you protect your trademark? Does anybody see anything that stands out in this picture? Is there anything unique?
Oh, the duck.
Yes, absolutely. The duck is unique. So when you're protecting your trademarks, you start from when you're just making it. You want to find something that is unique. So just like how you look at this picture and you quickly pick out the duck, that's how you want your trademark to be. So if you're making chocolate, you want to use a very unique name with your chocolate so that when because I'm a chocoholic, So when I go into the store and I want to buy your chocolate, it's unique. Your trademark stands out and I know that I'm choosing your chocolate. Okay, so you start with something unique. And then once you've created your unique trademark, you register it. So registering your trademark is basically applying to the government of Canada and you're saying, hi, this is my trademark and I'm claiming this trademark as mine in respect of chocolates or in respect of purses, in respect of clothes. And once your application is successful, the government will register this trademark as yours. And guess what? When you register the trademark, you are the owner throughout all of Canada. If you register your trademark in Canada, you're the owner of the trademark throughout all of Canada and nobody else can use it. If you register your trademark in another country, you are the owner of the trademark in that country, right? So trademarks, when you register them, they give you ownership rights in the country where you've registered your trademark. So we do this for our clients all the time because they invest in their business, they invest in their brands, in their names, and they want to own them. They don't want anybody else to copy or use their names. So register your trademark as yours. And then, oh, here's a question.
From Daniela. She would like to know, what if somebody registers it in another country but sell it in Canada?
Well, you should always register your trademark where you have business, where you're selling products. So the fact that you've registered your trademark in another country, it doesn't automatically give you protection for that trademark in Canada. If you use the trademark in Canada, you do have some unregistered rights, but they're very limited. They don't protect you across the whole country. So if you're only selling in one city, let's say somebody give me an example of a city in Canada. Go again?
Says Toronto. Daniela
Oh,
Toronto.
Okay, Toronto or Brampton. Okay, so if you're selling your chocolates in Toronto or Brampton and you haven't registered your trademark, well, chances are your rights are only in Toronto or Brampton. So if I am in Alberta or somewhere else and I'm using your brand to sell chocolates, then you may not be able to stop me. So it's very, very important that if you're selling your products in Canada, you register your trademark in Canada.
We have another question from Janaya. She wants to know, can the government decline a trademark? That's a great question. Or can they say, or say like, no, you can't do this?
That's a really, really good question. And yes, the government can decline trademarks. So remember, we were saying, if you register your trademark, it's your trademark. So if Micah registers a trademark for chocolates, Micah, give me a trademark out of your head. Make up something.
Micah on the chat or Mickey?
Mickey.
Oh, Mickey, give her a trademark.
How about milk?
Milk is a product.
Oh.
Okay, well, whichever trademark.
No, how about
Minecraft?
Best Buy.
Best Buy. Mickey says Best Buy.
Okay, so let's say you register that for chocolates. If I apply later to register that same trademark for chocolates, the government is going to tell me no, because somebody else owns it. So that's the beauty about registering your trademark. Once you've registered it, then nobody else can register the trademark after. Another reason for the no is if your trademark is not unique, if it's not distinctive. So if you're registering chocolate and you say milk, then chances are the government is going to tell you no, because that trademark is not unique. It's merely saying that this is a milk chocolate. Okay? So yes, the government can decline your application to register a trademark.
We have two other questions. Tracy, I'm going to try and understand your question. I think they're asking, what if like two people submit a trademark at like the same time? What happens? And Ronell wants to know, is there any trademark that can be protected in like by the whole world? So I guess not registering in every country, just like a world trademark.
Okay, so there is this convention, and it's called the Madrid Convention, and different countries have signed on to the Madrid Convention, and it's like it's an international system of registration. So if you can apply to register a trademark and want to register that same trademark in 10 other countries, as long as they have signed on to the international convention, then you can get an international registration. So that's definitely a possibility.
Awesome. And then Tracy's question was, what happens if two people are trying to register a trademark at the same time?
Oh, well, I guess it would just come down to whose application goes in first, right, Cynthia? I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, every application would be kind of date stamped. If you file it electronically, you can beat somebody out by a second, and then your application was actually filed first. And so that's how they would decide it.
Yep, it's who gets their application in first.
Perfect. All right, we're going to let Miss Cynthia, Miss Kimberly continue on in the presentation.
Okay, so when you've come up with your unique trademark, you've registered it, then you have to watch for fakes. You always have to make sure that nobody is copying your mark. So we are a little game now called, let's wait on our next slide. Can you spot the fake? Okay, so when I show you each picture, I want you to tell me whether it's the trademark on the left or the trademark on the right, which one is real and which one is fake. Okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we're starting with this picture?
Left.
Oh, no. Okay.
Left.
Okay, which one is fake and which
Left.
one is...
Oh.
Are we looking at which is the fake one? Right?
Which one is the fake one?
Which one is the fake one?
It's
Okay,
right
so
there.
let's see.
Sunbox.
Mickey says left. Let me just see. Nicole says right. Jenna says the right. Elias says left. Micah says left. The left is fake. Tish. Tracy left. The first one, I think Madeline is saying. Ronald says left. Ivy says left. I think they're pretty much, Daniela says right. Nicole says left. I think most have gone with the left.
Right, and that's correct. So this trademark on the left is trying to copy Starbucks, and they're hoping that, and you'll see that sign and you'll go in there and buy coffee thinking that it's Starbucks. So Starbucks now will definitely want to sue this company for trying to copy their trademarks. Okay, let's see the next one. Ooh, which one is fake?
Whoa, which one is the fake one on this Calvin Klein? I'll move it. Mickey says the right. Ronell, right. Brielle, right. Tracy, right. Adra, right. Daniela, right. Michelle, left is fake. Tish says right. God's will, the one on the right. I think most have gone with the right.
That's
Oh,
correct.
Ryan says, used to be those at Byway. I think I think he's saying the ones on the right. That's a good one.
Well, you're definitely correct. The one on the right is the fake. Okay,
Next one.
okay, let's see the next one.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what are we saying? Right, says Jenna. Ronell, right. Tracy, right. Nicole, right. Godswill, right. Elias, right. Live, right. Daniela,
Everyone
right.
said
Janaya, right. Ibby, right. Micah, right. I think all the kids have just said right.
Ding,
Melody,
ding, ding,
right.
ding, ding.
These kids
Right.
are
So
good, spotting all these fakes. Good
yeah, so you see how important it is to watch for fakes, because the one on the right, they've only changed a couple. Imagine you're hurrying to get somewhere, and you go into the grocery and you grab it because it looks exactly like Kit Kat. And when you go home, you realize, oh my gosh, I've bought the wrong thing. And then you start eating it and it tastes terrible. So that is why companies have to make sure that they watch for fakes. Okay, let's move on. Which one is fake?
Left.
Which one?
Wait.
No, which one is
Right,
fake?
right.
Nikki
Right.
says right.
Right.
I think all the kids are saying Tish, right? Brielle, right? Right. Elias, right? Jenna, right? Tracy, right? Melanie, right? Salem, you didn't type in yet. Let me see. Melanie, right? God's will. I think you mean right. Madeline says the second one.
Okay.
Ronell says right legs. So I think all
Right.
people are going with right.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct. So in this case, the company on the right is trying to copy the packaging, because the packaging, the trade dress can also be a trademark. So they've merely made a change to the word, almost identical to Lay's. And so Lay's would definitely have to police their brand to make sure that they stop this person.
Karen wants to know, Miss Kimberly, is this for real? Why do people do this?
Because, of course, it's absolutely for real. And Cynthia and I see this every day. This is the type of law that we do. So people do this because, remember, Lay's is very famous, right? I love Lay's, you love Lay's, and they know that, people will buy it. So their company is new and they want to make a lot brand, so they make it look exactly like Lay's so that people will be confused and people will buy it thinking that they're buying Lay's. That's why they do it.
Good to know.
Right.
Well,
You guys are all so great at picking out the fakes. You should be border agents when you go and stop the fakes when they're being imported into the country.
Right. Yeah. But what about the person who is hurrying? Like, mom is hurrying to do the grocery because she needs to get home to cook. And she grabs this bag of legs thinking that it's Lay's,
I think that, oh no, we got one more.
What's the fake?
What's the fake? Right. Like, right. Tracy, right. Micah, Brielle, Tish, right. Lai, right. Nicole, right. The right one. Karen, right. Kids are very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you notice what the company on the right has done, merely changed the first letter, and they've used a version of so they still have a white swoosh under the word. So they've taken the two unique elements of Nike and they've made minor changes. And they're hoping that the consumer or the buyer who is hurrying and buying on a rush will see it and mistake it for Nike and buy it.
So yeah, that was all we had prepared. You guys have had amazing questions. And like I'm so incredibly proud that you've come up with these kind of questions for us. Like these are more sophisticated questions than a lot of our clients ask.
Yes, yes.
Well,
So
Casey says you guys are awesome.
You guys are awesome too.
Well, we thank you ladies for presenting on KiddieNomics. We learned a lot. And we now know what a trademark is, right? Right, everybody? I really enjoyed this KiddieNomics Friday, said
Same.
Nicholas.
oh,
And
thank you,
Madeline says
Nicholas.
yes, and Peach says yeah. So you ladies did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Let's
Thank
give a
you
big
for
KiddieNomics
inviting us.
round of applause.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you very much, ladies. All right, we're gonna stop. You're gonna stop sharing your screen, and then I'm gonna do a wrap up. We are close to 6 o'clock, so let's see if I can do this in a few minutes. And I hope you ladies can stay on. I'll wrap up in a few minutes. All righty. Okay, last question that we always ask for every KiddieNomics webinar. What would happen if kids became more financially literate? And what's our answer?
Real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. Why is that? Just because the smarter you become in anything that you're learning, especially financial literacy, will just benefit you in as you grow into your adulthood with anything that you want to do, any dream that you want to pursue, whether or not you're going to change the world for climate change or cure cancer or cure COVID. You know, whatever it is that you want to do or be, you always need financial literacy skills. So that's what we think. All right. So we always call you guys our young financial literacy ambassadors. What is an ambassador? An ambassador is an authorized messenger or representative. You all represent KiddieNomics. So go out there and share the knowledge that you've learned on KiddieNomics. Share it with your friends and your family and your community. I have your parents already emailing me back and saying, oh, you know, they learned this about, you know, having a bank account or trademarks or having an RESP or whatever it is that we've talked about that day. And your parents are so super proud of you guys just taking the power and just learning about financial literacy skills and learning how it can just help you in the long run. And then you help your parents in your family unit. So it's really phenomenal to see. So we like to say knowledge is our
Superpower. Oh.
So knowledge is our superpower. So go ahead and share it, because the more that you share your knowledge about KiddieNomics, the stronger that you become, right? And that is like one of the definitions of being a superhero. And to me, you guys are all superheroes out there. So thank you very much. Let's talk about our weekly schedule for the remaining month of April. So next week, we are going to talk to Miss Michelle Williamson on Friday, April 23rd. We're going to talk about investing in Florida real estate. So remember last year, I did talk about, we're going to do more of an international feel and just start learning about other opportunities and other investments and other ways to invest around the world. And we're going to start with like Florida and talk about real estate. We talk about real estate a lot on KiddieNomics. So if this is your first KiddieNomics, you can always catch up and watch any of our previous KiddieNomics webinars and see the ones that we've talked about real estate in the past. And then, of course, to wrap up the month, we have Miss Billie Jane Bolton Rojo. We love her on KiddieNomics. She'll be back talking about university or college scholarships for kids. So a lot of you will be pursuing your post-secondary careers, and you may want to talk about or find out how you can get a scholarship or grant to go to school and not necessarily use your RESP money and find free ways to go to school. So we're going to talk about that the last week of April. So that should be super fun. All right, and then we have another special edition of KiddieNomics. We're going to have a Q&A with Miss Marcy Ian from the formerly of the Social. So Miss Marcy Ian will be on KiddieNomics, and we're going to talk about the power of pivoting. But as Miss Marcy Ian is now an MP Liberal seat in the Toronto riding for the Liberal Party, and we want to make sure that we ask her all the great questions that you guys have for KiddieNomics every week. So I want you, with your parents' permission as always, to send me emails at KiddieNomics101@gmail.com, or just write it in the chat right now for the questions that I can submit into Miss Marcy Ian, so that she can help answer those questions when we have her on May 21st, Friday, May 21st, okay? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions in the chat. So hang on 2 seconds. Okay, my mom knows her. She's my mom's friend. Oh, Tracy, you're talking about Miss Marcy Ian? That's awesome. Okay, and to wrap up, we always want to hear from you. Some of you already send me emails. Never send me an email without your parents' permission, of course. But I want to hear from you. What else do you want to learn on KiddieNomics? When you guys send me suggestions, I do find an expert to come on and let's talk about that topic, right? So send me your suggestions. Tell me what is it that you want to learn, anything relating to financial literacy. But we do other things too, like we talk about public speaking and entrepreneurship, and we make sure we talk about business and trademarking. These are all related to financial literacy. So tell me some topics that you want to learn about, and you can always send me the email at KiddieNomics101. But of course, if you do like our content, we would love and appreciate you if you please like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and yes, TikTok. I'm not sure, Miss Cynthia or Miss Kimberly, if you guys have a TikTok account. KiddieNomics has had a TikTok account for a year now. The kids are probably laughing at me. We have not done a video yet, but the TikTok account is there. I keep saying every week we're going to get to it. I will get to it. I'm going to do one of those dances. You guys are going to be surprised one day. I'm going to post a TikTok video. But anyways, use the hashtag KiddieNomics or Ask KiddieNomics so that I can follow your questions. And we love you for joining. Okay, Karen, you want to learn about mortgages? No problem. That's actually coming up in June. So stay tuned for that one. So we love you for joining this week. Thank you, Miss Kimberly and Miss Cynthia, for another amazing session of KiddieNomics. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Friday, and bye!
Bye.